welcome to the Afro Diaries channel. If you're new here, you're in the right place. Welcome. My name is Belinda. I have created an introductory series, a 3-part introductory series. So if you'd like to know more about this channel, what you can expect, and also a little bit about me and my background, definitely have a look. I'll put a link in the description box below. But in a nutshell, if you'd like to know what all this is about, it's about beauty, brains, and African sauce. So without further ado, without wasting any more of your time, the main objective of this video is 3 things you should consider if you'd like to study abroad. By the way, before I go into the detail, you may be wondering, what's that? So that's my teddy bear. I'm in a different room today, just because I'm making something in the kitchen and the oven is making a bit of noise, so I just decided to do it in a different room, and I thought he looks a little bit cute behind there, so please don't mind him. So just going straight into it, I'm just going to share 3 tips that you should consider when you want to study abroad. So of course, if you're considering going to UK, US, going to Australia or Canada, if you just want to further your education in a country other than your own home country, then this is the right video for you. Just a brief intro for those who don't know, those who haven't managed to watch my other videos. So I moved to the UK 7 years ago. I moved here to do uni and I ended up staying here. So I work here at the moment. So a lot about this channel will be about things basically based on my experience, what I found quite useful, tips on applying for universities, like making your application, your visa, also starting your whole you've not been taken and basically joining university. So the whole experience, and all this is just based on my own personal experience. So definitely share your questions. If you have anything specific you'd like me to cover, definitely let me know and I can cover it in future videos. But for today, I'll just be sharing 3 tips that I found quite useful when I was considering studying abroad. So the first one is basically you have to start from somewhere. So narrow down on a country. As you can imagine, there are so many countries around the world. As I mentioned earlier, Canada, Australia. So I personally was considering UK versus Australia. But my parents helped me narrow that down very quickly. They were like, Australia is too far away, UK is the best place to be. But which brings me down to some factors you should consider when you're narrowing down on a country. So distance is one of them. It's not the most important, but it is one of them, and it is very important for some people. So if you want to be visiting your family every holiday or every now and then distance is something that would be important to you, because whether we like it or not, air tickets are very expensive. So Australia, for example, or going to Canada, you can imagine the air ticket and also the time. Like, it would take you how many transfers to get there? It may be 2, but those are 2 very long hours. So it's something you need to be ready to do. So you need to be emotionally ready. If you've decided you're going to go there, then you know that maybe you might not visit your family every so often because it's quite far away and it's quite costly. So distance is one of the factors you should consider when you're choosing your country. Another thing which I find maybe more important than distance is the system of education. So different countries are set up differently in terms of their university education. So in this case, it's university education. So in the UK, for example, it only takes you 3 years to get a full degree. In US, I think it's 4 years of undergrad, and then you have to do grad school. That's if you do this, you call them vocational courses. So like medicine, engineering, law, you need to go to grad school. So that's something you need to consider, because time equals money. So which country do you want to go to, right? Also, in terms of system of education, you need to also see how compatible it is with your current system of education. So I did the local one in Kenya. It's called 844. So I did KCSE. And when I checked the universities I wanted to go to in the UK, none of them recognized KCSE. So I had to do a bridging course. And it's not a case that I'd failed KCSE. In fact, I'd passed it with flying colors. But they don't recognize it. So you need to see, are you comfortable with the steps you need to take to be able to go and basically be qualified enough to apply to that specific university you want to go to. So I did a bridging course at Brookhouse. So it's called the NCUK, Northern Consortium of UK Universities Foundation course. So it was a 6-month course There are other foundation courses which are much longer. So again, that's something that you can consider. And some people actually come to the UK to do their foundation year. So you can look at all those options and see if, the country you've chosen, in this case, it may be UK, is it the right place for you? Is it the right option for you? Another thing you should consider is culture. Because whether you like it or not, some countries are still racist. And especially if you're black, this is something, or at least if you're not white, this is something you should consider. So UK has its own problems, but it is better than other countries. So please do your research. It's already enough stress to have to worry about getting a first class, getting a 2-1. At least it's too much stress to just worry about your own study. You don't want on top of that to be a tourist attraction to other people. There are people that are taking photos of you because they've never seen someone like you before. So these are some of the things that you should consider when you're choosing and narrowing down on your country. So on a country to study. So when you have now chosen a country, you need to now see what university. So UK, for example, has so many universities. Like, I've never seen a country with so many universities. Of course, for me, it's because I was from Kenya. Kenya, I think it's only 3 main ones. Right now, there's so many, I know. But at the time when I was applying, it was only 3. It was either KU, Nairobi Uni, which everyone wanted, or KU, or Moi. There's JKUAT as well. And then if you don't go to those 4 now, the others are like, you'd rather go to private uni. So yeah, there's so many universities to choose from. And this is the case for many developed countries. So now you need to narrow down on the university and actually the city, because a city could have many universities. Some of the things you need to consider, and I definitely considered when I was choosing a uni in UK, is the cost of living. So I'll have to draw from my experience in the UK, unfortunately, so I can't really help when it comes to countries like US or Australia, but definitely in the UK, London is the most expensive city to live in. The further you are from London, the cheaper it is. So I knew for sure I'm not going to go to London. So I was trying to find other universities which are in a city that's still big, because the reason why I wanted a big city is because it's metropolitan. I didn't want to go to a village where they've not seen black people before, and I'm being called certain words on my way to uni. Like, I didn't need to deal with that. So I chose Manchester. It's in the north. It's a big city, and it also had a very good university. So I went to the University of Manchester, and that's how I chose it. And I remember when I was doing my foundation year at Brookhouse, they actually made us write an essay. It wasn't an essay, to write a presentation and present it to everyone, which university you want to go to and why. So this really helped me to know what university to choose, because they made us consider all these things like living costs. What is the student life there? Like, you check all these things online because they all will contribute towards your experience when you study abroad. So another thing that, by then I'm looking to the side, it's because I'm looking at my notes. I don't want to miss out on any tips. Some of the things you need to consider when you're selecting your city and your university is the tuition fees. So all of us are working with a budget. So it's good to know what university is charging what and why. So sometimes it's worth the extra cost because the university is like ranked very highly. Sometimes it's not. So it's good to check these things. Some universities offer scholarships, others don't. So the reality of things in the UK, they barely give you scholarships for undergrad. Like they just don't. To international students, no, they don't really give many. It's not like they don't at all, but it's very hard. So I won't raise your expectations on that. Maybe other countries offer more scholarships than UK. But UK, when it comes to masters, I know there are more scholarships available. But definitely for undergrad, it's quite a stretch. But these are things that you can consider. So some may give you a merit, like scholarships on merit. Others give them based on your background, financial background. So these are things to consider when you're choosing the uni. Another thing to consider when you're choosing your uni is the ranking. So you don't want to spend all that money, all that investment that your parents are making, and then not be able to find a job afterwards. So check the ranking, check how employable those students are after. So a couple of factors go into that, like how do they deliver their course, how practical is it, how much do they expose the students to the industry, things like that contribute towards the university's score in the ranking. So you don't want to just check the general ranking of the university. You want to check the ranking in your course, the specific course that you want to do, because some unis are much better than others. Some unis are better in medicine, some unis are better in engineering, some unis are just they have the best art school. So depending on your discipline, definitely check the ranking and make the best choice amongst the ones you have available. My third and last point, because I don't want to keep you guys, there's so much that goes into this, but I will make more and more videos. I try to break it down. So this is just among the first steps, which is selecting your country and like where you need to study. So my last point is selecting your course and discipline. At least if you don't know your course, at least know the faculty. Like, what faculty do you want to go to? And this ties in very highly with selecting your university. So you want to select your university based on what they're known for in terms of your course. So again, check the ranking. Again, the fees varies across universities. So engineering is cheaper in a certain uni compared to another one. So these are some of the things you need to consider. And also see, again, as I'd mentioned, employability. Check what experience they have. Also, I forgot to mention this. Check how they lay out the course. So what modules do you do? What modules are mandatory? Which ones are optional? Of course, this is if you're really keen on going to the best uni that offers the best course. So if your course is engineering like it was for me, I wanted to go to the uni that has the best structure in terms of engineering. So are you spending more time in the lab versus being in class? Like what kind of courses do they offer? Also, some unis offer work experience, others don't. So those are some of the things you need to consider. But that's all for today. I didn't want to keep you guys here for too long. Definitely let me know if you have any more questions. If there's something I didn't cover and you'd like me to cover in more detail in other videos, definitely let me know. But this is just the first video amongst many in the Study Abroad series. So definitely expect more content. Subscribe and also follow me on my Insta handle at Diaries. See you next time.